Hey guys, today we're going to be doing a tutorial on how to draw a hyper-realistic eye. So before we get started, a few things that we're going to need are you guys can get dark or light pencils. Or you guys can just use normal mechanical pencils and things like that. Another thing we're going to need is erasers. Doesn't matter what you have, as long as like one of them is a little bit sharper. Also, you guys can get a black colored pencil, which would help too. Next thing that you guys will need are some blending tools, like everyday at-home objects such as tissue and Q-tips. Okay, so now that you guys got everything, let's get started. So first you guys are going to draw a nice and light circle. Draw it nice and big, depending on how wide you want your eye. If it's not completely circular, it's fine, because we're going to erase this later. So the next thing that we're going to do is you're going to kind of draw just a line across this circle. A very light line that we are going to erase again later. Starting from this line over here, you're going to draw a little bump. That's going to be that inner corner of your eye. So you can make this any shape you want. They come in all sizes and different varieties, so just be creative. After that, eyes tend to go pretty vertical pretty quickly. Then they will arch back down and meet at this corner right here. So that would be your upper eyelid. Then we're going to come down here, draw the rest of this little section of the eye. So this is going to be your lower eyelid. It's much less steep and it's not slanted as much as the top one. Okay, once you got that, you're going to kind of follow this circle line up here. And you're going to follow the eyelid. It's going to be like the fold on the top of your eye, pretty much. Right now everything can be really messy. You're going to do the exact same thing with the lower eyelid as well. Okay, now that we got all that done, you're going to come in with your eraser and erase this big circle. Then we're going to also erase this line that goes inside the eye. Okay, you can also darken some of these lines out here. Make this line a little more defined because it's kind of messy right now. Okay, then guys, we are going to draw the iris. Now the iris is another circle. It should take about 50% of the eye, so you should leave about a quarter of white on the sides as a reference point. Okay. No, things are probably hard to see right now, but that's okay. Okay, now that you got the iris, you're going to go ahead and draw the pupil. Now the pupil has to be right in the center of this, so you can draw a little X in the iris just so that you can tell where it should be. pupils come in many sizes, so it doesn't really matter how large you draw. Just don't make it too small or too huge. Okay, once your iris is done, you can go ahead and erase these lines that we just drew. So now we're gonna start with the reflection in the eye. So you can draw this any way you want. I'm gonna draw a square as if it's coming from a square-ish light source. These lines don't need to be dark yet. None of these lines do. So I'm going to draw mine in the iris. And then there will be another highlight within the pupil. This one's going to be really faint and skinny too. Okay. So once we have that, we're pretty much done with the outline of what we're going to do so far. We're then going to get a darker pencil. You can go ahead and get like a 6B or anything like that. 3B is fine too, which is what I'm using. So then we're going to go around the outside of this iris. Very dark. Make sure you keep it a nice circle. Okay, once you got the iris line, you want to kind of blend that out a little by drawing less dark than the line itself and just draw outward into the iris. Don't color in the whole iris yet though. Okay, once you got that, we're going to also outline the pupil. This pupil is going to be very dark except for the highlight. The highlight is going to be colored in too, but it should be a little bit lighter than the actual pupil. Also, when you are coloring, you want to go in one direction and have very close together lines. Okay, and then go ahead and color in the other side of the pupil. Make this really skinny, this highlight. And then you're also gonna color in the highlight, but leave it a lighter gray, not so dark as the pupil itself. Okay, once you're done coloring in that pupil, we can go ahead and color in the rest of the iris. Now, you're gonna make the inside a lighter gray for now. You can also kind of darken this upper eyelid, not too much though. You want to kind of blend it in to here. Don't color in this highlight. This one is just going to be white. If you guys are leaving little smudges, it's okay, because later those will not be able to be seen as well. Okay, so now that we got everything in the iris colored, except for the highlight, we're going to think about some shadows. So as the highlight is on this side, that means that there's going to be a light source up here. So this eyelid here is going to cause some shade throughout the top of the eye. So you're going to take your pencil and you're just going to darken all this upper part of the iris for now. Later we will go through the whites of the eye.